Hi guys, it's Anthony Molinaro from OBrien Real Estate with another edition of the Eastern Weekly Property News for 2020. The March house price data was released by CoreLogic last week, and Melbourne delivered a 0.4% increase for the month, finishing the first quarter of 2020 up by 2.9%, with annualised growth now sitting at 12% over the last 12 months, leaving us with a median house price just shy of $700,000, sitting at $695,299. For investors, weekly rents have increased 1.5% over the last 12 months, with the average yield sitting at 3.2%. ANZ during the week announced a 2-year fixed home loan at 2.19% for owner-occupiers and 2.49% for investors with its break-free package. Now that's the cheapest we have seen so far from the major 4 banks. The Reserve Bank on Tuesday decided to pause the economic stimulus and has kept interest rates on hold after the 2 cuts made last month in March. Now we still have room for one more cut if needed next month in May, and that will be re-looked at. Across the board, although housing values continued to rise in March, the second half of the month experienced a weakening in new listings growth, and that trend is likely to continue with the social distancing policies that are in place at the moment. Buyers' activity, although slower, the quality is very, very good and the properties are still selling, and we can see this continuing particularly at the reduced listing level stock. Now let's review the market for the week across the OBrien Network. We recorded 56 new listings, 72 properties selling, a highest price achieved of $14 million for residential property, and an auction clearance rate of 75%. And for the month, well, for the OBrien Network, we produced 234 sales with an average days on market of 34. Again, the highest price achieved being that $14 million sale with a median house price of $856,000. Across the industry in Victoria, we saw 979 private sales take place. CoreLogic reported 572 auction results, 279 selling prior, 33 selling online, 1 selling after, and 32 passing in. This week, we had 227 withdrawn or converted to private sales. All in all, a 54.72% clearance rate. The same time last year was at 57%. Another chart I wish to show is that one that illustrates that historically, housing markets have performed relatively well against negative economic shocks. This chart shows 35 years of real estate values, and the source of this information is from CoreLogic, the number 1 in data for real estate. The chart shows that during the global financial crisis in 2008, that real estate prices dropped no more than 10% below the line, and it did this likewise in the 2018-2019 Banking Royal Commission. You'll also see the extraordinary growth in prices during the late 1980s, and that those prices corrected pretty quickly thereafter during the early 1990s recession, where we had 11% unemployment and 19% interest rates, but you'll see prices never dipped more than 5% below the line. And of course, the big difference now is that in the early 1990s, we had interest rates that were fixed at 2.9% now with ANZ. Back then, they had none of that. Some reporting out yesterday that points to some green shoots. The ANZ Roy Morgan Consumer Confidence Rating rose by 10.1% for the week, which is the biggest lift since August 2008. And the ANZ job advertisements, although it fell by 10.3% in March, the survey doesn't pick up any direct hiring of staff by major employers like Woolworths and Coles, which are placing over 25,000 jobs nationally. Now we do have a new listing that does hit the market late last week, being number 21 Winifred Street in Nunawading. With presentation and technology key in these uncharted waters that we're in, the owners have agreed to have the home styled and staged and utilize the 3D walkthrough viewable on all the real estate portals. This provides the potential buyers the ability to be able to see as much of the property as possible before organising or booking a private viewing. Offered for sale via a digital auction, unless sold prior of course, it's very reasonably priced, between $880,000 to $960,000, and it'll be interesting to see how this one is received by the market in today's circumstances. Now it's no doubt an interesting time in the real estate world, and who knows what the future holds. What we do know is there are still active buyers and sellers, and if we can help in either of those categories, please be sure to get in touch with myself or one of my colleagues here at OBrien Real Estate in Blackburn. Thank you so much for watching, and before we go, From everyone at OBrien Blackburn, we want to wish you a very happy Easter and hope you are spending this time with family, keeping isolated and staying safe. Again, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next week, it's bye for now.